Egotastic FunTime.
Hey gang, I'm JP and welcome back to Egotastic FunTime. I'm back! I haven't done a live show in 2 weeks and I just watched episode 2, chapter 2 of Disney's Star Wars, The Mandalorian, The Child, and I also watched Star Trek Short Trek Ask Not. Watch Not? Ask Not. I watched it. But after I watched it, I didn't have anything to ask, so Ask Not was a pretty great title for that episode. So I'm here to talk about it. I wanted to check in with you guys since I haven't been live in a while, see what you guys are up to. Start up a nice short live show where we talk about The Mandalorian, we talk about the Star Trek Short Treks, and we just talk. We have a good time. That's what we do here. I've missed you guys. I was away while I was getting my house in order, my life in order. But let's see who's here right now. Yes, somebody opened the airlock on JP. Damn them. What's going on, Peyote Pete? What's going on, Dario? Now, this is an impromptu live show. I didn't schedule it really. I scheduled it like 10 minutes ago. Whoever shows up, shows up. We already got about 20 of you or so. We'll talk about The Mandalorian. Have you guys watched The Mandalorian? Do you have Disney Plus? I have Disney Plus. I don't know how much longer I'm going to have Disney Plus, but I have Disney Plus right now, and I am enjoying it right now. Yeah, YouTube's not really updating us who's here. We got Peyote Pete, we got Dario, but I know there's 18 more of you here. Say hi if you want to say hi, and I'll say hello back. What's going on, you guys? What's up, Dario? What's up, Peyote? Gotta turn off my phone real quick. T. Stoney, Jaloja. David Trailer is here. I wish I had the list of names. You can say your name and you say present. You guys, I just watched The Mandalorian. I did my review the other day of the first episode. Now we have chapter 2, just a few days later. It's pretty good. It's pretty okay. There's some bad stuff about it. There's some great stuff about it. I don't know if it's necessarily the big to-do that Disney Plus made us think it was going to be, and I'll tell you why. But so far, I'm enjoying it. Dario says, yes, seen it by other means as I'm in the UK. Yes, if you did it by the correct means, or the means that they think is correct, Walt Disney, Mickey Mouse, you would have to wait till March. That's too long. If you got a way to see it. Damn it. The great Dilberto was hanging out with me over on the Twitch side. I did my first Twitch stream in 2 weeks as well, just a little bit ago. And everyone on there said I needed to watch The Mandalorian, and if I could, watch the Short Trek, which I have, and then come do a live show and talk about it with you guys and hang out and say hello. And Great Dilberto was also on the Twitch side of things. I have the Twitch wish list. A bunch of games are on there, and if somebody orders that game and it gets sent to me, that means I am now legally required to get that game and stream it from front to back, beginning of game to end of game. So we're going to be, when it comes out in April, thanks to the great Dilberto, we are going to be playing on the Twitch side of things, Egotastic FunTime. We're going to be playing Cyberpunk 2077 with the wonderful Keanu Reeves. He'll be in the game. He won't be playing the game with me. I'll be him. I'll be Keanu Reeves. Whoa. Hey, Jake Krause, thank you so much. Here, I don't have my automatic button up, so let me give you something here. Damn, that's loud. Let me turn that down a little bit. Take my money, JP. JP is Japan made of fun. He just put up my 8-foot tall at Xmas yard decoration. Wow, you got an 8-foot tall at. That's awesome. AT a decoration. Wish they had Orville ones. Jaloja. Now, Orville wise, we're not going to get decorations, but Christmas decorations, not this year, I don't think. But Eagle Moss will be coming out. It's already official. It's been released. Eagle Moss is coming out with the Orville ships models. Not models we put together, but the little, the little display models of the Orville ships. So all the Orville ships are going to be coming out by Eagle Moss really soon. Of course, Eagle Moss does Star Trek, Star Wars, Firefly, all that other stuff. So we're going to be getting a full line of Orville ships coming out soon. Jake, thank you very much. Thank you very much for your support. Oh, cool. The Great Roberto also just finished the new episode of The Mandalorian. Awesome. Did you like the Indiana Jones homage in the episode? Oh, I must have missed the Indiana Jones homage in the episode. The episode gave the child, which, you know, picks up right where we left off with the first episode of The Mandalorian, where we had that cliffhanger where he finally gets to that bounty. He finally finds the bounty, the 51-year-old bounty. Turns out to be a little baby Yoda. A little baby Yoda. Which, by the way, I'm going to tell you right now, we get a close look at that baby Yoda in this episode, the child. And it's the baby Yoda is Flush, a Yodaling. I can't remember what the Yoda race is called, but I'm going to call it a little Yodaling because it looks just like Yoda. They could have made it a slightly different shade of green, but they chose to make it a little Yoda green. Absolutely the cutest thing, boss. The cutest thing. It's a huge marketing opportunity. Everybody. I want a little Yoda doll. A little plush little Yoda baby doll. I want one. I want the toy. It reminds, looking at it in its eyes, it looks just like my cat when my cat's looking at me. So I want one of those things. It's absolutely cute. It's flush with force powers. But this whole episode, turns out The Mandalorian is basically a half-hour show. It's a half-hour show. The first episode had a running time of 39 minutes, but it had about 30 seconds at the front for just, you know, not even titles, just for, you know, the Lucas Limited and the little new Star Wars logo that they made for Disney Plus. That's 20 seconds. The credits were 2.5 minutes. So the actual story, the actual episode is about 36 minutes, that first episode. The second episode had a running time of, I want to say 32 minutes, but it had a 1:20 recap at the beginning of the episode, and the credits at the end were 4.5 minutes long. So the actual episode, the actual full episode story-wise, from first shot to final shot before the credits, is 27 minutes. The second episode is 27 minutes long. So we all assumed that a show like this, The Mandalorian, only being 8 episodes, would have been an hour-long drama, just like all the other streaming services, especially a startup streaming service, when they come out with that one show that you have to watch that the other streaming services don't have. In this case, it's The Mandalorian. All the other streaming services are putting out 1-hour shows, 1-hour episodes. Even Discovery is 1 hour. The new Picard series is 1 hour. Castle Rock on Hulu is 1 hour. The new Orville season, the episodes will be 1 hour long. No commercials, just a full hour of footage. Whatever show you want us out there, they're all hour long. This is 30 minutes, basically. Less than 30 minutes, really. So that's kind of stings a little bit, though I enjoyed all 30 minutes, 27 minutes, really. I enjoyed all minutes of this episode. It's also nice with this show to kind of scale back a little bit in the Star Wars universe and actually just let us live and breathe and exist in this universe a little bit instead of just rushing around all the damn place like they do in all the Star Wars films. Everyone's just running around all the damn time. Here, Mandalorian doesn't run. Mandalorian slowly walks up to the bad guy, to the situations, and takes care of business. Which also means that I'm guessing the script was probably a page long for this episode because there's hardly any dialogue. It just goes from scene to scene, but it was a nice journey. I guess dialogue wasn't required. Besides, like I said in my first review, it's hard to connect with the Mandalorian because his face is covered the whole time. Though there were certain things that happened in this episode, especially when it came to the Jawas, when he's dealing with the Jawas and the Jawas were being dicks and saying, oh, you need to get us this if you want all your stuff back. And he's like, but it's my stuff. You can see he was getting frustrated. You kind of felt he was getting frustrated with them. So that kind of, we got a little bit of his personality, which I don't know how much that's going to really carry over 8 episodes, 8 half-hour episodes. which means that in total, this first season is 4 hours long, basically 2 movies. Whereas other shows, the new Picard series is basically a 10-hour movie. But hey, if they're giving us quality stuff, I guess it's okay. The Yodalorian. Oh, Dario, that's perfect. Hey, Stu Parker, how you doing? The great Dilberto says, I now know I need an 8-foot tall AT-AT at Xmas decorations. Hey, CM Sequoia. JB, longtime watcher, first time commenter. Long time, first time. That's what they say in the radio. It ain't easy being green. Yeah, I'm loving this little Yoda baby. I want one. I'm sure these things are going to be showing up in the stores really soon, because if it has to do with Star Wars, it more has to do with shelves at a store. That's what Star Wars has become. It's become, they build stories around toys. But so far, I'm digging this show. I wouldn't mind having a badass Mandalorian figure, so I might drop a couple bucks on some figures for the first time in a very long time when it comes to Star Wars. Yeah, we'll get to the short trek, Paulino. I just watched that minutes before I started this stream. It was okay, but utterly pointless. It was really pointless. It was pointless. It was nice to see Pike, but also it's filler. It's absolutely filler. The Mandalorian, these episodes being so short, you know what they kind of have? I like the tone of The Mandalorian. I think it's gritty, but also it's still kind of fun. It's light and heavy at the same time, which I really like. Though it's dark, and I don't mean dark like gritty. I mean like it's hard to see some stuff. There's certain shots where I'm like, I can't make out any detail. It's so dark. Just the same complaint that people were having with some of the scenes from Game of Thrones. It's certain things are literally dark where you can't see what's going on, or you can't make out detail. Almost like if you take a picture and there's a light behind somebody's head, or the sun is behind somebody, and then you can't really make out their face very well. There was a lot of shots like that, but then there was actually shots later on in the episode where the sun literally was behind the Mandalorian, but I could see everything perfectly. So that's kind of off-putting a little bit. You need a Razor Crest reconstruction kit? Yeah, that thing's pretty badass. The flamethrower gave us a hint at his frustration. I love the flamethrower. You know what I didn't care for? When he was fighting that giant, whatever the hell that was, that giant hairy rhinoceros, which was actually was badass. That was a badass scene. He goes into the butthole of this cave, right? To get this egg that the Jawas want. The Jawas want him to get this egg, fight the scary monster to get the monster's egg, and bring it back to them so that they'll give him his parts of his ship back, okay? Cool, that all makes sense in the Jawa. That's how Jawas work. They're a bunch of dicks. When they're, and they have this side gig salvaging stuff when they're not doing the Lollipop Guild. I get that. So he goes and does that. He fights this thing. The little baby Yoda uses its force powers to stop the thing in its tracks. That was badass, because I knew that little baby Yoda was trying to use its force powers the whole time, especially when it was trying to heal him, and he thought it was just a dumb baby doing dumb baby stuff. He didn't realize it was a cool baby with midichlorians all up inside it, right? But when the baby Yoda couldn't handle it anymore and it passes out, and the monster is back at it again, he takes out his little knife and he stabs the thing right in the neck, and it instantly goes down. That seemed unrealistic. Like, I was thinking, I know for a fact, thanks to YouTube, like if you're fighting a bull, which is just a fraction of the size of this beast, if you're fighting a bull and you take a little stubby knife out and you stab the bull, all that's going to happen is you're going to make the bull really, really mad. It's not going to take it down. So I thought that was really weird that he stabbed it with this little tiny knife and it instantly went down. It didn't even put up a fight. It just instantly went out. Now, of course, you could argue, oh, there's a sensitive area on that thing's neck. Well, you need to tell us that if that's the game you're going to play, Jon Favreau. You need to tell us that. Damn it. So that kind of took me out of it a little bit. Yeah, that's another thing. Are we supposed to believe that Yodamites, I love that word by the way, if Yodamites are all Force users? I would think they're not, but I guess their race, maybe their race is sensitive, and some of them, maybe some of them, maybe they all have maybe they're all a little sensitive, and some of them are just really strong with the Force, like Yoda is. I don't know. This thing, This thing looks so much like a baby Yoda, because we've seen Yoda's race in one of the prequels. I think we might have seen another Yoda person, slightly different shade of green. Might have been a female. No idea if they had the Force or whatever. This thing looks exactly like Yoda. This is an exact copy of Yoda, but baby style. This is like Muppet Babies, but with Yoda. Okay, this is exactly what that is. It even dresses like Yoda. The baby has a little cloak, just like Yoda, right? So I don't know, maybe it's a clone of Yoda. There's something special. Why does Werner Herzog, the client, want this thing? Does it want to use it for its powers? How do they even know this thing has powers? So far, everything that's going on, The Mandalorian, every character we've met has no backstory. None of them have a backstory, and we're already finished the second episode. So they're not giving us any context, which while I'm really enjoying the series so far, it does feel a little empty when it comes to, latching on to a certain character or anything. We have no backstory. We just know that it exists in the Star Wars universe, in the Outer Rim. At some point, we're going to be getting closer to how the First Order started, coming together. But really, we have no inkling of that as of yet. And there's only 6 more episodes left. 6, I'm assuming 30-minute episodes, just like this one was. So I don't know how much of a story they're going to be able to tell, especially since, and I do appreciate this, each episode is simple. We're just got one thing we got to accomplish, and we're on that journey to accomplish that one thing, serialized. I really, really do like that. I like it. We got into this episode. The only thing he needed to do was get off the planet, but something got in the way, and he has to deal with that situation and disintegrate a bunch of Jawas, which was actually really cool. I don't think they did that in any of the original trilogy. Nothing was getting obliterated, right? That rifle, which is a legit like Mandalorian rifle. I'm pretty sure Boba Fett had one of those things. This thing is disintegrating whatever it hits. That's new to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing out on something. Yeah, they eat the egg. They wanted to eat that monster's egg. Oh, also another thing I learned. I just assumed. And you know what they say when you assume? You make an ass out of Yumi. I don't know who Yumi is, but I don't want to make an ass out of them. I just assumed Yoda's race were, I don't know why, I just assumed they were vegan or vegetarian. Apparently that's not the case. The Yodamites, which is our new word, the Yodamites eat living creatures, because that baby downed a frog pretty damn quick. They're going to have Yoda Baby tagging along like the baby in Death Stranding. I was just going to say that. That was the first thing that came to my mind when I'm watching the episode. And he has the little Yodamite, the little Yodeling, in that baby carrier that just floats behind him and just follows him, because I guess it's on a tracker or something like that. He kind of moving around with this. That looked dirty. The first thing I thought of was Death Stranding, because that's what happens with that little baby. It's following you. It's floating behind you. Yeah, that's it, Tony B. How did they kill that giant beast with a toothpick? That was the main thing that took me out of it. Though the entire fight was pretty great. That was pretty great. And he was going to get his ass kicked if little Yodamite didn't. They call me Yodamite. My name is Yodamite. If Yodamite didn't step in, he would have... He was down. The giant beast was running towards him. He had the knife, and he just took his knife out, and he's just like, come get me. And he put his head down, just hoping... I don't know what the hell he thought this knife was going to do when that thing was just going to open its mouth and just swallow him whole. But I guess it's a very powerful knife, because he just stuck it. If they did like a little electricity or something coming out of it, it would have made sense. But since I was like, that little thing's barely going to get through the first layer of skin. he killed it so quickly because of the price of the effects. What's up, Eccleston? We missed you at the Twitch stream a little bit earlier. Clones in the army had implants. Like boobs? Evil implants. My guess is the Yodalorian will turn out to be evil. I think he's Jedi mind tricking the Mandalorian. Oh, that would be so awesome. That would be so awesome if he's not a baby at all. If he's just mind tricking everyone to make him think he's a little baby. I think he's a little baby. I think he's going to be a little Yoda baby. But that's a great idea. I do like that. That'd be sinister as F. You had to go to the doctor. I hope everything went well. Yeah, I haven't been streaming the last couple of weeks. I took a step back. I had to get my house in order, which is what I was telling everybody on the Twitch stream today. I had to, because YouTube has been a BEEYATCH. YouTube has been a BEEYATCH. Even when I do it, my last couple of videos are doing really well. I'm getting some great views, but they're worth a third of what they used to be worth back in the spring. YouTube shenanigans, you guys. So I was like, oh my God, this isn't going to work. I need to get a side hustle because my health, the stress was not only causing me mental health, but that mental health turned into physical problems. My heart was, I was getting like palpitations and stuff, and I was afraid I was going to, might have another stroke or something like that. So I needed to get things in order, and I did, you guys. I did. I got a side hustle working for Uber Eats. And it's been great. I've been doing it for a week. That's another reason I didn't stream this week, because I wanted to figure out the situation. And it's been going really well. I highly recommend it. If you're looking for some side work, sign up to be an Uber Eats driver, you guys. And if you have any questions, just message me and I'll tell you what I know. You didn't get the Twitch notification. All these services, you guys, they're not sending out notifications. Yeah, but I had to find a job that lets me work when I want to work, and how long I want to work, or how short I want to work, because I want to have the versatility to keep doing this. I need to keep doing this, but I need something to supplement the fact that YouTube is a jerk, and I did. So I'm yay! I'm happy again. So here we are with the videos and the streaming, and we're back at it, you guys. Thanks, John Guy. There is even an episode of Rebels where a clone digs the implants out and tries to stop Order 66. Yeah, one thing I'm really liking about The Mandalorian, there's a lot of things I am liking. There's stuff, it's like I said, it still kind of feels like a web series. It doesn't quite feel like a legit full-on show. Even though it is. It just kind of has that, like when The Walking Dead, they'd have that little web series that they'd come out and they just give you a little piece at a time. Every time an episode airs, you get just like a little 5 minutes. And it kind of has that feel to me so far. Even though I'm really enjoying it. Still don't understand IG-11. When they introduced IG-11, voiced by Taika Waititi, IG-11 was great. Such a great scene. Such a cool character. Voiced by a very, very popular right now actor, director, writer, and then as soon as we met him, he was gone. I'm sure it's possible for him to come back. I just don't think he is. I checked on IMDb, though I don't necessarily completely trust IMDb. It says he's just in that one episode. I'm like, oh come on, you can't make. They made IG-11 this big thing in all the trailers, like it's a big thing. It's like we thought he was going to be the Mandalorian's Chewbacca. Right, it's his second in command. We thought it was going to be like a team up, but he's gone. We met him a few minutes later. He was gone. I don't know if he's ever coming back, which is too bad because it was really cool. It's very effective on screen. Really cool to see the IG-11 doing its thing, taking all the bad guys down. The way it moved was really interesting, really cool. I loved watching him, but I don't even know if when we meet Gina Carano, if she's going to be one and done. Which, I'd one and done Gina Carano. But she probably one and done me right in the face. So I was kind of disappointed in that, but I am enjoying the show so far. Missed the Thursday Explosions. Yeah, the Thursday Explosions, we haven't done them in a couple weeks. I needed to get things in order, and now I have got them in order. I'm still figuring out, I don't know if I'm going to do the Thursday night show every Thursday, but we will do it a few times a month for sure. Thursdays. YouTube doesn't like it when I do these live shows. Every time I do a live show, they punish the channel. They make all the earnings, they just cut them down on my videos. Yeah, I don't think IG-11 will be back, which sucks because I was really waiting for IG-11, and then we got introduced to him, and I was like, oh my god, he's great. But yeah, I don't think he'll be back, but I would really wish they would bring him back. Well, yeah, he's a droid. He could be repaired, right? So, just repair him. Maybe as they repair him and his personality's a little different, a little looser, a little cray-cray, a little more Taika Waititi, I think it would be great. Oh yeah, if they can get Taika to direct an episode, they should. I just watched Jojo Rabbit the other day. I went and it finally had some screenings to go see, so I was able to go see it. Oh my god, that movie was great. Jojo Rabbit, you guys, absolutely amazing movie. Sell drugs, JP, and do what you can. It's hard. There's in Tulsa now we have medical marijuana, so there's a dispensary at every corner. As far as the eye can see, for miles and miles and miles, every corner has a dispensary. So you can't even sell drugs anymore. Because they're all incorporated now. Richard says, not a huge Star Wars fan, but enjoyed episode 1 of The Mandalorian. Yeah, I don't think you need to be a big Star Wars fan to enjoy the series. There's a lot of stuff in these episodes that people that are longtime fans are going to really enjoy. Just seeing lots of Easter eggs, races to see. It was great to see the Jawas, and have, there was, in this episode, so the whole thing there was Jawas the entire time. That the giant, what is it, giant salvage ship? I can't remember it's not even ship, the Jawas, whatever the hell that vehicle is that they drive around. So cool to see that in action, seeing it really, take off, being basically a high-speed chase. Wasn't really a chase. He ran after it, latched on, but had a big fight on the side of it. That was really cool. Lots of things to look at, creatures, ships that a lot of people that are fans are just going to love about this show. But if you're not seeing those things, you're still going to enjoy it for like the story and for what's going on the screen. All the Easter eggs, they're not important, but they are nice. Yeah, I'm sure he's too expensive to animate and render. It's too bad because he was really great. I wish that we had a little bit more. Maybe do 2 episodes with him before we lose him. But just to come across him really quickly and then lose him, didn't really care for that. Sandcrawler, boom, Sandcrawler. I actually was a Jawa for Halloween one year when I was a little kid. Oh god, I was probably 10 years old, maybe even younger. And my aunt, she sewn the robes. She put on this, like, over our faces, she put, I don't know, some kind of material that's, you can't see through it. I mean, you can see through it, but people can't see your face, so you're all, it's black. It's probably the exact type of thing they use for the actual Jawas. And she put these, like, gold rings as the eyes, and so me and my little brother, we were Jawas one year. It was great. Piano Dean, that scene is very disturbing. If you remember, those things are likely sentient. Oh, boom, I knew what you were talking about when you responded. I didn't read Piano Dean's comment, but I knew what you were talking about, Great Dilberto. I liked the little rotisserie that was cooking Jabba's little belly varmint. Yeah, those belly varmints, in the first episode, there was one on a rotisserie in the market area. There's one on a rotisserie burning, and there's another one in the cage just watching his friend cook. But yeah, they are sentient beings. If you remember in Jedi, that little varmint has a sense of humor. He laughs at stuff. He gets jokes. So they're actually like, sentient beings. And, so I saw that and I was like, oh, that's so sad. Yeah, I'm too tall to be a Jawa now, but when I was, 9 or 10 years old, I was just the right size. What's up? I'm Darkfire. Thought I'd do a quick live stream, talk about the Mandalorian. I just watched the latest episode, The Child. Really digging the show, though I'm still having a hard time connecting with it. It was really cool. We got Nick Nolte's character back in this episode. It's really cool. They save a lot of money with that character because they literally don't have to put any makeup on his face at all, which was really cool. So it's Nick Nolte. They just put a costume on him, no makeup at all, and he just looks like that character. It's pretty cool. They should have cooked the Jar Jar. Yeah, are we gonna get any Gungans in this series? I hope not. I'm sure Jon Favreau wouldn't want a Gungan in his Star Wars at all. And what I really love about this series, I said this in my review of the first episode, this is a true continuation of the original trilogy. The original trilogy being the Star Wars that matters, not the prequels. Whether you enjoy the new trilogy or not, it doesn't really matter. It's, as far as universe building goes, it's just the same story repackaged up and put out there on the screen. The original trilogy is where it's at, and this is a continuation of that. They're not repackaging anything. They're not telling the same story. This is a new story, a new adventure that takes place in the universe, in a universe that really feels like the Star Wars universe from that original trilogy. So I'm really enjoying that, but because these episodes are so short, because there's not a lot of dialogue in the show, we're not really getting context. So, we're moving forward in this world, but we're not really understanding the world that we're watching. Axonar Comics, what's going on, Trey? Salacious Crumb. Good old Salacious. Well, now he's Salacious Barbecue. Dave G Sound. Have you seen the Kurosawa movies like Yojimbo? I have not seen Yojimbo. Now, I know that the Kurosawa movies is really... the original Star Wars trilogy was heavily inspired by those Kurosawa films as well. I'm Darkfire says, the show I am totally lost on. Yeah, it isn't bad. Shame I have no clue on the show universe. Well, whether you're really into the Star Wars universe or not, it's not going to help you understand the story at all. That's up to whatever comes up on screen in these episodes. Right now, we really have no context. I really have no reason to root for the Mandalorian. I think that stuff should have been established a little bit more in that first episode. So get it over with. Give us the story so that we can do what we want with it in our brain and then follow him on this adventure. So hopefully they do that by the third episode, because by at that time there's only going to be 4 episodes after that. So they really need to give us something to latch onto to root for this guy. It's not that I'm rooting against him. It's just like, I don't really care that much, though I am enjoying the ride. I like that we're just getting a little bit done at a time. All right, Stu. Stu says, thanks, JP. Off to work. Really enjoy your show. Take care. Well, thank you, Stu. Thanks for watching. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for keeping me company on this lonely Friday night. That's another great thing. This great Dilberto. The end credits art are pretty great. They're a nice treat. The end of every episode, you have the credits, as shows and movies do, and video games now. Of course, with the video games, you got to wait 40 minutes for them to finish. They have the credits, and the credits are laid over these really beautiful renderings, concept art having to do with the episode. So everything you just watched, you're going to see the concept art version of those scenes underneath the credits. Really great. A nice treat for any fan of the Star Wars universe. I remember as a kid, my uncle, was 8-9 years older than me. He was really into Star Wars. You know, he was a teenager when I was a little kid. He was really into Star Wars, and he was very artistic. So he had a lot of the Star Wars books with the concept art and the ship designs and the behind the scenes stuff. So I would look through all that. And of course, he had the Star Wars one, the Indiana Jones ones. I'd look through all that stuff. So it brought me back to that every time they do the credits. But the credits on this episode were 4.5 minutes long, which really ate into the story portion of the episode. So like I said, the episode's only 27 minutes long when you get rid of all the credits. But the credits, you know, they do the main credits, and then they do the French version, then they do the German version, then they do the Brazilian version, then they do the Japanese version or Korean version. So it really takes up a lot of time. The explosion killed them, though. And we even had another, it seems like every time the Nick Nolte character pops up, we're going to have some sort of montage scene. Like in the first episode, we kind of had a montage of him learning to ride was it a blurg? We had a little montage of him learning to ride that beast so that the two of them could go to the place they need to go to. I would have just had it where he knows how to ride them, so we don't have to waste time with that, so we can get more story, keep moving forward. And then in this one, we had a montage of the two of them fixing the Razor Crest ship once they got all the salvage back. But I'm sure we won't see Nick Nolte again, I don't think. I have spoken. Boom, right there, Sexandra. Same right here. Sexandra says, I'm just in shock that I watched the Star Wars show and enjoyed it. Same here, I absolutely enjoyed it. Now, that's not quite fair because the new films, I do enjoy them. I enjoy them while I'm watching them, but once they're done, I'm like, okay, I'm done with that. They don't stick with me. I don't necessarily go and see them really looking forward to them, even though I don't think I'm going to hate them. They're okay. But this one, I've been looking forward to it. Getting to this TV format version, getting slower story, getting more of a story told, even though I don't think they have been telling us that full of a story yet. That's kind of a little bit of a disappointment, though. I still think it's a better story than what we've been getting in the films, which is just too much stuff happening. But yeah, I really enjoy the show so far. It's not a perfect show, but I am enjoying it. But it still feels kind of very high quality web series to me. Dan Crane, thank you very much. Dan Crane, JP, Friday night's live stream? Impressive. Yeah, I had no plans of doing a live stream tonight. I was working my side hustle all afternoon, and I got home about 3:30, because I get home when I want to get home. Got home at 3:30. I was like, oh, let me go on Twitch, do a live stream on Twitch. So I did, where we're just chatting like we do here. Link down below if you want to join us on Twitch. And then everyone on Twitch says I need to watch the Mandalorian episode. The second one came out today. I was like, oh, I didn't even expect it until Tuesday. I guess they're going to be coming out on Fridays. They said I should watch it and do a live stream on YouTube and talk about it. So boom, I did, and I am. So here we are. Dan Crane. Dario 108 says, I have the Caravan of Courage on DVD. I might have to watch it to see the blurgs. The blurgs! Ego after dark. Ego. The new trilogy movies have just been kind of meh. Yeah, I mean, I like them, but I don't really care about them. They're just theme park rides for me now. When I go see them, I'm just like, oh, I'm on a ride. Let me enjoy the ride while I'm on it. And then after I'm done with the ride, I go and do something else. I haven't watched another sequel since The Force Awakens. I refuse to forgive them for what they did to Han Solo. Yeah, that was a huge mistake. They shouldn't have killed Han Solo. Spoiler alert. That was ridiculous. Danny Crane. Like Denny Crane. Denny Crane. Tony B, this episode established how good of a fighter and how tough the main character is. Yeah, Mandalorian's a badass. Now, he did mention in this episode, the Jawas wanted him to put his weapon down, which makes sense. And he says, Mandalorian, weapons are part of my religion. I don't know much about the Mandalorians, but now I do know that the Mandalorians are all about weapons. They're kind of like a warrior race, from what I can tell. Now, in the first episode, we got a flashback of him and his parents. Very quick flashback. They were running from something. I'm sure they were being attacked, and I'm sure his parents got killed, and he became a foundling, an orphan, which is what that means, an orphan. I'm not sure if kind of being all warrior and weapony and helmety when it comes to being a Mandalorian has to do with being an after effect of that battle or that attack, or if they were already like that. Maybe you guys know, or maybe it hasn't been explained yet. But we did learn more about Mandalorians in this episode. Now, there's a really cool Easter egg. I don't know if you guys caught it in the first episode. Is that just called? I know Chapter 2 is called The Child. I don't know if Chapter 1 had a name to it. Chapter 1, Pilot, The Mandalorian. When Horatio Sands' character, that blue fishy-looking alien, when he was down in the belly of the Razor Crest, looking around, pretending to go to the bathroom, and he's chatting while the Mandalorian's, up top, he says something about he was hoping to do something. I can't remember what he wanted to do, something special for Life Day. He actually brought up Life Day in that conversation. And Life Day, of course, is the Christmas holiday, the holiday season from the Star Wars holiday special. They didn't call it Christmas because they wouldn't have Christmas because it was in a galaxy far, far away, but they called it Life Day. So that's the holiday in the Star Wars galaxy. That's basically the Christmas holiday. So he mentioned that. That was a pretty cool little Easter egg right there. I don't know if you caught it. Boom, right there. Dario says the holiday special. I think they should do a remake of the holiday special. That would be pretty damn awesome. Oh, right there, the great Delberto says, I've watched episode 4, the first Star Wars movie, over 100 times. I've watched episode 7 twice. Yeah, the new ones, same here. I've watched the original trilogy a million times. I actually ended up watching, I want to say episode 1 a bunch of times, just because it just happened that way. But yeah, the new Star Wars trilogy, I've only seen each one once. And I'm not complaining about the new trilogy. It is what it is, I guess. To me, Star Wars is the original trilogy. And The Mandalorian. The Mandalorian continues it. I know a lot of people like Rogue One. I have nothing against Rogue One. But that's still, even though it's really close, it's really, really close, I still consider that prequel territory. And I stay away from prequel territory. I'm done with prequels. Damn it. That's where CBS failed with Star Trek. Doing the damn prequel. I just watched, right before the stream, I watched the new Short Trek. Now, I didn't watch it on CBS All Access. I watched it at a friend's house. Anyway, I watched it. I won't get into how I watched it, but I watched it at a friend's house. And a friend let me watch it. And because I canceled CBS All Access last month, because I did re-up my subscription last month so I could watch those 2 short treks that came out. And I watched them both. I did reviews. I talked about them, I think, if I recall. Yeah, I did. And I was like, they're not really worth reviewing, really. They're not really worth having the subscription for. Whether you like them or not, they're still not really worth it to me. So I canceled it. But a friend let me watch the new one that just came out, Ask Not. And it wasn't bad, but it was also nothing. It was nothing. It was great to see Christopher Pike. Anson Mount is great. We love him. I actually really like the new Enterprise, what little of it we see. I like the red for some reason. I don't know why. Even though there's lots of bullshit, damn it, on that ship. The stupid droids everywhere. And what's up with those turbo lifts? The shafts. They're like made out of Time Lord technology where it's just infinite space inside. That's ridiculous. Spock is ridiculous. I actually prefer bearded Spock at this point now that we know the difference. It was an okay episode. but really pointless. It really felt unlikely. Basically, it was a Kobayashi Maru test, except for it is passable. A girl, a cadet, she's at her post, and then all of a sudden there's an attack or something like that, and then they bring in a traitor with a stupid technology mask over his face so you can't tell who it is. I'm like, why just put a bag over his head? Why spend money on this stupid technology that just takes you out of that era of Star Trek anyway? I'm like, I don't remember that technology. But that part didn't matter. Just put a bag over his head. But anyway, it turns out it's the captain. It's Captain Pike. He's a traitor. She needs to watch him, and he's there trying to convince her that she needs to let him go. Blah blah blah, and it all turns out to be a test. She passed the test because she did her job, and then that means she gets to serve aboard the Enterprise. I'm like, and then she's greeted by Spock and Number One after she passed the test, and Pike did all this stuff, and he actually put his life at risk because the phaser that she was pointing at him was real, but it was all a test just to see if this cadet could serve aboard the Enterprise. Captain Pike, and she even said it, why are you doing this? Aren't you busy? Captain Pike, Number One, Spock, just to get a new cadet on the ship, to go through all of that is very unlikely. That's not going to happen. That's something that would happen on a storyline on Star Trek Online, which is fine. That's fine. That's where that belongs. So it very much felt like you're the new cadet on the Enterprise, the tutorial scene in the beginning of a video game, and you pass the tutorial. That's exactly what it felt like. It was absolutely pointless. Didn't hate it, but didn't need it either. I'm actually to the point where I'm really looking forward to Picard. Everybody knows that. Not happy with Discovery. Everybody knows that. Even though I do see little tiny bits of goodness. I think season 3 is going to be the best season ever. Doesn't mean it's going to be a great season. I'm looking forward to watching season 3 of Discovery. Kind of. Just to see where this trip ends. I think CBS needs to stay the hell away from the Cage era timeline. You tried it. You started off with that. You messed it up, CBS. You can never go back. It was great to see Anson Mount. We love you, man. But I don't want a Pike series. I don't want any of that. I want CBS to stay away from that part of the timeline. And I think they can do okay. If they've taken their lumps, they've learned their lesson, hopefully, and they stay away from that part of the timeline forever, they might be able to salvage what they have done. We might not have to make them pay for what they have done. Yeah, the writers for that particular show don't necessarily understand sci-fi. And of course, it's just an episode because they got to save money with these short treks. It's just another episode, 2 characters stuck in a room having a conversation. That's what it was. It was fine. It was fine. There was nothing wrong with it. There's nothing really to complain about except for the fact that it doesn't really matter. It's not needed at all. It's not worth $6 because that's how much it costs you. If you only have CBS for the Star Trek, that little episode cost you $6. Ooh, Bill Burr on The Mandalorian. Yeah, this episode, the first episode, we had a lot of cameos. This one, we just got Nick Nolte again, which is fine. It's Nick freaking Nolte. And I'm wondering what other cameos we might get. You think Greed BS will quote you, JP? Egotastic FunTime rates it. It wasn't bad. Well, I would actually amend my quote to be Star Trek Short Trek, ask not. It wasn't not good. Not looking forward to Disco Season 3 that much. I'm not interested in seeing an obliterated Federation. Yeah, see, I don't even mind that, being that it takes place 1,000 years in the future. I mean, something like the Federation, I could see it having its, it's strong, but it's also fragile because it's so many, working parts. So I can imagine something happening where it just loses at some point, hundreds of years in the future, and then it's a, it's just an underground movement. It's a ghost, And then it's up to 1,000 years in the future for Discovery, which really doesn't understand the Federation and what it means anyway. But for Discovery to bring back the Federation. That's cool. I'm fine with that as long as it's 1,000 years in the future. Don't have the Federation be obliterated in Picard's timeline. Don't do it. Here is a question for you. Who can ruin the Borg more? Voyager or All Access? All Access. The Borg stuff was getting... we were learning a little too much about the Borg in Voyager. I love Voyager, but yeah, I was like... I know too much about the Borg. I liked it when there was a little bit more mystery. Ooh, do you think Obi-Wan will cameo on The Mandalorian? Well, he couldn't. He's unless he's a Force ghost. Obi-Wan died in the first Star Wars movie, so years and years before, like 10 years prior, right? He's all Force ghost up. Boom, Dario said Obi-Wan. Now, that Obi-Wan show, I'm looking forward to that as well. Because really, Ian McGregor's Obi-Wan didn't really get interesting until, like, the second movie. That first movie, he was just a little whiny bitch. Just like Anakin was through the entire series. But this, once he stopped being a Padawan, he got interesting. But he was surrounded by mayhem and chaos and uber director treachery. So I'm really interested to see what they do. I don't know who's doing the new Obi-Wan show. I mean, Ewan, of course, but I don't know who's in charge of... I don't know who the showrunner is or the writer or the creator. I haven't really looked into it. But knowing what they're doing with Mandalorian, which hasn't lived up to my expectations yet, but it certainly hasn't lost my interest at all. I am enjoying it. It just doesn't have as much story as I hoped it would. At this, after 2 episodes, but it still makes me smile. I like it. It gets a thumbs up. Okay. And I know I see potential in it, and I see potential in this television format for the Star Wars universe. I'm really digging it. I just hope we get a little bit more story going on, as opposed to just a bunch of scenes of, somebody in the desert staring off into the distance, and then another scene of them staring off this way and just being in pain. I'm sad. So hopefully there's a real adventure that goes on. Mystery is irrelevant. Yeah, The Mandalorian takes place 5 years after Return of the Jedi. So the effects of of the fall of the Empire with Leia, Luke, Han, everything that they did in the trilogy, the Empire fell just 5 years prior. So there's this huge power vacuum, which totally makes sense in the galaxy, right? Which is gigantic. It's like at least 5 times bigger than Earth, than what we know. So this in the galaxy, there's this huge power vacuum of this dictatorship, basically. So what happens? We still don't know, really. They haven't really done anything except for, these credits aren't worth that much money. Okay. These Imperial credits, they're not good. Well, they still spend. People are still using them. Because the rebels, they took down the Empire, but did they really put in place a good government to pick up the pieces? I don't know if they did. I don't think they could. So the First Order. So basically, what kind of sucks, especially when you connect both trilogies, the new one and the original, is the Empire fell, created a huge power vacuum, and then basically a new version of the Empire took over again. That sucks. That's not a happy ending. So, but we're getting, at least a little bit of that story of what happened afterward. What would have been better with this new trilogy is if, in The Force Awakens, if they had it so that the Republic, if the Republic is back in charge and we see it fall, we see the Republic fall in the first movie, and then the First Order takes over, right? That would have been interesting, as opposed to just starting the film, the First Order's in charge. It's basically the Empire all over again. So we're basically just doing the same story as the first trilogy, just with kind of new characters, kind of new situations, but not really. It's just a replay, pretty much. It's like poetry, so that it rhymes. But did any of you guys see the new short trek? I know it's a lot harder to see the short trek. A lot fewer people already. Disney Plus just came out, and I'm pretty sure a lot more people have Disney Plus than have CBS All Access. Obi-Wan, no, but I wouldn't be shocked if they throw a Palpatine hologram. Ooh, so far what I'm loving about this Mandalorian show is no Darth Vader, no Palpatine, none of that crap is coming up. Though I'm sure as soon as we get to some of the troops, some of the generals and stuff that have fallen back to the Outer Rim, I'm sure Darth Vader and the Emperor's name are going to be thrown out there at some point. I don't know when season 3 of Future Man is coming out, Eccleston. I hope sooner than later. It's about time for that new season, right? It's probably been a year since season 2. If you guys haven't watched Future Man on Hulu, I highly recommend it. It's a Hulu original. Absolutely insane, absolutely crazy. It's sci-fi, it's throwbacks to all the great, cool sci-fi stuff from the 80s and 90s, and it's very adult, lots of action, lots of insanity, lots of humor, and it's very, it's pretty cool. First couple episodes, you'll be like, huh, and then by episode 3 or 4, once they get to the James Cameron storyline, I was hooked. I think that's like episode 3 or 4. There's a James Cameron storyline. And at that episode, I was like, okay, this is the best show ever. So there's 2 seasons of full seasons available on Hulu. Don't watch it with your kids. It's very adult humor. And season 3 hopefully comes out really soon. It's produced by Seth Rogen, and Seth Rogen makes a great cameo at the end of season 2, which I think he'll be following up with him in season 3. And there's lots of other great guest stars on the show as well that you'll recognize. Yeah, Future Man is super violent in a fun way. Ooh, last time you checked, Netflix UK hadn't bothered to add the new short treks. Now, the new ones, because I know they eventually added those first 4 short treks, eventually, and they did it under the trailers section. So you go to the CBS Star Trek, you won't see it. You have to go to the trailers section, it's there. But yeah, I don't know if Netflix, because Netflix is not like in CBS. They had the falling out over Star Trek and the audience reception and monies and this and that. So I don't even know if they're putting those short treks on Netflix. Yeah, Seth Rogen's character is named Susan. Yeah, we got The Witcher show coming out. The Expanse comes out next month, a little less than a month from today. We'll have The Expanse. Now, The Expanse is going to be a little bit different. Besides being amazing, I hear it's amazing. That's Amazon Prime. Amazon Prime dumps everything at once, okay? They're still doing that. All the other streaming services, Mandalorian was supposed to be dumped at once, but Disney decided to do it 1 episode at a time, which I think is has made it so that Netflix is going to start doing 1 episode at a time, one episode a week with their new shows, some of their new shows. Hulu's already done that. Hulu does 1 episode a week already. Amazon and then Disney Plus is doing 1 episode a week. Amazon dumps it all at once. Hopefully they change that. But as far as we know right now, The Expanse is all being dumped at once, all 10 episodes. Season 5 of The Expanse is already filming right now, FYI. So the way I'm going to have to review that is I'm going to watch the first episode, do a review of it, and then once the review is out, I go and I watch the entire rest of the season as quickly as I can over the next 2 days, watch the whole thing, and then when I'm done with that, I'd do another review of the entire season. So basically just 2 videos. And then we'll do some live streams talking about it once everyone's getting caught up. Hey, Nathan Allen, how you doing? Man in the High Castle dropped today. That's a show that I watched the first episode. I absolutely loved it. Didn't get around to watching the other episodes, and now it's been so long. There's so many things to watch, but that show is my type of jam. I love alternate history. It's a new genre that we're getting a lot more of nowadays, and I absolutely love alternate history shows and movies that have been coming out. No, I believe Picard will be one episode at a time. Glenn, CBS understands that's the best way for shows that are fandom related. One a week is the best way to do it, because then you really build the anticipation, you build the audience, as well as for these streaming services. Maybe this is why, you know what? This is probably why Amazon Prime doesn't care about whether they dump it all at once or not. They're streaming, but you have to pay a year at a time. Everyone with Amazon Prime has to pay for the entire year. So releasing things once a week doesn't help you get subscriptions. Whereas with Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, everyone's on a month to month. So if you stretch out the release date, the releases of these episodes, you get people subscribing for longer. It just makes business sense. It makes perfect sense to me. So the reason Amazon Prime doesn't do that, pretty much to me, I just came up with it right now, and now I'm positive that I'm right. Everyone has to pay a year in advance, so it really doesn't matter if they drop it all at once or not. So Picard show will be once a week. Discovery will be once a week. Anything on Amazon Prime will be all at once. Dumping all the things at once gets the Tick canceled. Yeah. I love that new Tick series. Season 1, Season 2. Amazing. Absolutely loved it. I highly recommend it if you haven't seen the new Tick series. The first 2 seasons, only 2 seasons, are on Amazon Prime. Absolutely great. But yeah. But Amazon doesn't care. Amazon has all the money. So they're just putting out stuff. I don't even think they're putting out stuff hoping to get new subscriptions, because everybody has Amazon Prime, right? I had Amazon Prime for years, never watched anything from the video stuff side of things. They didn't really have anything I wanted. That wasn't the reason I signed up. I signed up for the shipping and stuff like that. But then their programming got pretty damn good, so now I, don't care about the shipping as much as I care about the programs. Eccleston is done with Netflix. What?
Sorry, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I still like Netflix, but they'll just come out with some things that I want to watch, but then I'll just binge them, and then I'm done. Hold on a second, you guys. Echo, stop. AI, you guys. Can't live with it, can't live without it. I just binge watched they finally got Billy on the Street. 4 seasons of Billy on the Street on Netflix. I binged all of them. Now I'm like, I have nothing to watch on Netflix. Boom! Glenn Gamin says McClunky. Boom! I shoot you. Boom! If you say McClunky, I shoot you, because that's how Star Wars works. Yeah, the thing they did with Star Wars: A New Hope Episode 4 on the Disney Plus app, they have the Star Wars on there. They have all the Star Wars on there. The scene, the Han shot first scene in the cantina, as we all know, Han shot first, and then they changed it so Greedo shot first, and then I think they changed it again so that they both shoot at the same time. Now in this version on Disney Plus, it looks to me like they both shoot at the same time still. They both shoot at the same time. But Greedo has a new line of dialogue where he says McClunky. And when he says McClunky, they both shoot. So I don't know what their reasoning is. Maybe they wanted to fall in the middle somewhere. Some people are like, Han shot first, Greedo shot first. They're like, well, we need to split the difference, but let's give Han a reason to shoot right away. So they gave Greedo a line of dialogue, McClunky. So when he says McClunky, they both shoot. Ridiculous. Just have Han shoot first. Make everybody happy. Nathan says, oh, you have Echo. I can't say it out loud. Screw that. No droids. I didn't build here. Yeah, I got, I'm Amazoned all through my place. I got Amazon everywhere. Wait, what? This live? Yes, it is, Robin Phoenix. Now, Robin, also, Robin, thank you for upping your monthly patron subscription earlier today. Much appreciated. But Robin was over on the Twitch side when we were doing our Twitch stream earlier. Eccleston says, JP, Netflix has canceled too many of my favorite shows. When they canceled OA, that was the last straw. Yeah, Netflix is all about canceling shows. So it's hard to, you know, nobody wants to get, you know, fall in love with any of their programming because it'll easily get canceled because Netflix don't care. They got a million other things down the pipeline that might win you over. That's what they're betting on. Joel Diaz. Joel, you know I love it when you call me Big Papa. Joel says, missed you, Big Papa JP. Still waiting for another season of Knights of Sidonia on Netflix. I don't know that show. I know the song. Isn't there a Muse song called Knights of Sidonia? I don't know. Yeah, Robin says, I watched JP just a little while ago on Twitch. YouTube stream tonight as well. What? Glad I'm here now. That's right. I wasn't even going to do a YouTube stream, but you guys on Twitch told me I should. So here I am. Oh my God, Archmage says, in 10 years they'll have an edit where Greedo shoots himself on accident. Oh man, why don't they just stop editing anything? Why don't they edit it back just to the original? Keep some of the cool stuff where they upgrade the effects a little bit. I'm cool with that. But let's just keep all the stories and the scenes, you know, as is. You know, if you want to make the little hovercraft thing, the speeder, whatever, no, not speeder, the little hover thing, you know, have it look actually like it's actually, you know, floating across the desert as opposed to just rubbing Vaseline underneath it on the film strip. Cool, keep that. You could get rid of that extra Han and Jabba the Hutt scene. Get rid of that. But we just want Han shooting first, please. Yeah, the McClunky thing. I learned about McClunky from, believe it or not, last night. Or was it the night before? I think it was on the Late Show with Stephen Colbert. He actually did in his monologue. He explained the whole thing. I can't remember what the joke was, but he says, "I'm not lying. This is exactly what they did," and so I learned it from that. Mandalorian is kicking arse. JP, awesome show. Have you seen it? Anybody here? Yes, Nathan. I did my review just a little bit ago of the second episode. I'm loving the show so far. It hasn't quite got me emotionally invested yet, but I'm really digging it. I'm just hoping we get a little bit more context, a little bit more background of what's going on sooner than later, because this is only an 8-episode season, and the episodes, I've done the math, are only about 30 minutes apiece. The episode 2, if you cut out the credits at the end and you cut out the recap at the beginning, the episode's only 27 minutes long. I enjoyed every minute of it, and lots of cool stuff happened in the episode. Lots of expensive stuff happened in the episode, but I'm still not quite invested. But I do love that little Yoda-mite, that little Yoda baby. I want one of those. I want a little toy of it. I want a poster on my wall of it. I want a little plush toy to squeeze, to hold. And I guarantee you those things are coming out really soon. Because if you cannot, Star Wars is not going to come out with a little Yoda baby and not sell it everywhere. That thing is going to be on Band-Aids, cans of Coke, cans of Pepsi, bottles of Pepsi too. And all the Pepsis, all the flavors, you guys. Vanilla, the old school with the sugar, with the real sugar. It's gonna, little Yoda baby's face is gonna be on there. It's gonna be on crackers, gonna be on cereal, gonna be on edible panties. It's gonna be on everything really soon. quote me on it. And I'm going to buy it. I'm going to buy something. Yeah, I thought it was great. Kind of pissed about IG-11. We lost we met IG-11 towards the end of the first episode, and then before we knew it, he was gone. And I don't think we're ever going to see him again. Yeah, Yoda Baby. We're also calling him Yoda Mite. They call me Yoda Mite. Me on it, JP. That's my quote. Dario says, have you seen the despecialized editions? Yeah, in the early 80s. That was the last time I saw the despecialized editions. Which are more special. Nathan says, I got here late. Sorry, there will be more than 8 episodes. It's a hit. Well, this first season is 8 episodes. Season 2 is being written right now. Jon Favreau is writing season 2. It is greenlit. It is a go. So we will be getting a season 2. But with the season 2 probably won't come out until this time next year. But yeah, we will be getting a second season. And we'll probably get a third season. I mean, it is a hit. I don't see any reason why this show wouldn't be a hit. It's good enough to be a hit. Maybe we'll see an IG-12. I mean, there's got to be a lot of IG models before we get all the way up to 88, right? This starting at 11, we got, between 11 and 88 to fill. Dario says, no, fan-made edits that restored the movie to how it looked in 77. Oh, no, I haven't seen that. I mean, somebody's got to have an original version somewhere, right? I mean, the original version, unjacked up by George Lucas, did come out at some point on VHS, right? I'm sure somebody has a copy of that and, put it on digital. I mean, I'm sure it looks like VHS quality, but I'm sure it's digital. VHS. Oh, there's a privately owned copy that they recently scanned. There's got to be the film somewhere too, right? Like they can do that special, like they did with the Godfather Blu-ray. Which, by the way, if you haven't seen the Godfather Blu-ray, wow, it looks amazing. Basically, they scanned the film in, and they did it like 4 times on top of each other, so they get everything. It's absolutely amazing version. They must have an original film somewhere, right? Yeah, George Lucas is a self-indulgent wiener. Yeah, he just got too full of himself for those, for too long. I think he became afraid to make anything new. So he just focused on just messing with what he already did with Star Wars. And I think he was afraid to make something else, to do anything new. Because he knew anything he did was never going to live up to Star Wars. But he just didn't realize Star Wars is beyond him at that point. Once it was released and became this big, huge, cultural, iconic hit, it's beyond anything you can ever replicate. So he probably let that get to him. But then he came out with some other movies eventually, and they sucked. So what you gonna do? Boom, I was just going to say that, Dario. Okay, Red Tails, yeah, nobody liked that movie. Howard the Duck sucked, even though I kind of like Howard the Duck. It sucks in the 80s way. Movies that sucked in the 80s are still good movies. But yeah, Howard the Duck sucked, and it was a flop. And maybe, I'm thinking he thought he probably was going to come out with Howard the Duck. Thought it was going to be a hit. It wasn't, and he was so used to, this huge, all the praise he got from Star Wars that when this was a failure, that probably got to him and made it where he was afraid to ever make another movie again. So he just focused everything on Star Wars. Oh, I watched that. I watched that, Glenn. Glenn says that George Lucas deep fake reaction to the episode 9 trailer is hilarious. I watched that. You guys got to go on YouTube and find that. It's a George Lucas reacting to the trailer, to the rise of Skywalker, and the dude that they got to play him looks a lot like him and sounds like him. This dude really impersonates George Lucas very well. It's hilarious. I highly recommend it. And he's basically the George Lucas doesn't care anymore. He's like, I don't care, whatever. Ooh, you got to see The Godfather. Godfather's great, Dilberto. The first two. THX 1138 is a pretty bad movie. Yeah, that was the movie he made in college, right? Oh, yeah, Eccleston. That was a really bad choice. Eccleston says, I hate that Lucas replaced Sebastian Shaw at the end of Jedi with Hayden Christensen. He might as well have replaced Sir Alec Guinness with Ewan McGregor. Yeah, that was a bad choice story-wise as well, because he replaced the original actor during the Force Ghost scene at the end of Jedi. They put Christian Haydenson over his image over that character. Luke would have no idea who that is. He never saw the young version of Anakin Skywalker. He just saw the crusty old man dude version. He wouldn't recognize the younger version of him, so there was no point to that. It was absolutely ridiculous, and it was not necessary at all. Which was another thing people are getting pissed off. George Lucas spent so much time just changing things that didn't matter. We didn't need the Ewoks to blink. We didn't need more rocks in front of R2-D2 when he was hiding in the desert. It was just changing stuff that didn't need to be changed. Why did they change the Han shot first scene? Because a producer. I don't even know if George. Well, it must have been George's idea, but somebody said, "Oh, it makes Han Solo look like a bad guy." I'm like, no. He's a good guy can shoot first if he's in a bad situation. Batman doesn't wait to get shot. He shoots first. He doesn't kill anybody, but that's Batman. They kill lots of people in Star Wars. People like Star Wars. I'm sure Luke would figure out who he is. I'm sure he would. He has the Force inside of him. Yeah, Ewoks burping. Just fart jokes is basically all that is. Ridiculous. You had Star Wars, you had the originals on beta. Though you never had a player, you just had the beta copies. Man, you remember going to the video store and they had the beta section and the videotape section? The VHS section. You just got the notification. What's up, Food Bars? You just got the notification for Channel 2 of The Mandalorian. Or Chapter 2 of The Mandalorian. Yeah, it's out. I got the notification when I was on Twitch today. And everyone says, oh, the second episode's out. I'm like, what? I'm going to watch it. So I did. The Ewoks were cool enough without being enhanced. Yeah, they gave them Viagra. Yeah, I don't know. Hopefully they don't change. Hopefully they do. You know, they'd make a ton of money now that, you know, they did all these special editions and director cuts and blah, blah, blah editions of Star Wars that nobody needed. But there's a great way to repackage it and sell more copies, which is why they really did it. But now if they came out with the original version, the original cut again, that'd be another thing for people to buy. I bet you we get that at some point. Just if any reason, just because it's a thing people will spend money on. Oh, Picard doesn't need Viagra. He's got everything he needs. He just gets his tea Earl Grey hot to make it so. With the ladies. Stiff joke. Badunch. I wish there were more Ewok toys now. Oh, well, I'm sure we're going to be seeing some Ewoks in the Rise of Skywalker, the Walk of Skyrise. So I'm sure we'll be getting some new Ewok toys soon. Yeah, and they probably have a button on the back. You press the button and they blink. All right, you guys. I want to. We got to end this stream. I can't do too long of streams. YouTube does not like it. They punish me when I do that, you guys. So I want to thank you guys for stopping by to talk about Star Wars and Star Trek with me, and Future Man. Don't forget to watch Future Man, you guys. If they do season 3, I'll do an episode about it. We'll talk about it if season 3 comes out. But I want to thank you guys for stopping by. I'll still do a regular review video for Chapter 2 as well. Though I will be, hopefully tomorrow night, because I've been working. I got my side hustle. So tomorrow I get up and I go do my second job, which I'm kind of excited about. So we'll see you guys. And if you guys want to help out Egotastic FunTime, just be your beautiful selves and watch my videos and come hang out when we do the live shows. You can follow me on Twitch. We also have, if you want to do donations, we have Patreon's a great way. We have the PayPal link down there. We have the Seth Trek shirts and other Egotastic FunTime shirts. They all help the channel grow. Make my monster grow! So thank you guys. And if we're going to end this, we are going to end it right. And I'll see you soon with some more Star Trek and Star Wars and Orville. I got Orville stuff to talk about in an upcoming video soon. We got a new look. New look in season 3 for our crew. We're going to talk about it really soon, and I'll give you a clue to find some very spoiler alert stuff. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but I'll let you know that if you want the spoilers, where you can go find them. Up your butt around the corner. So if we're going to end this, we're going to end it right. So, okay, that's it. That's all I wanted to talk about, and I talked about it. How about you? Did you see The Mandalorian? Did you see Chapter 1? Did you see Chapter 2? Did you see the Star Trek Short Trek? Ask not. It's okay. It's not great. It's not needed. It's not bad. It's not good. It's not. Ask not. Check it out if you want to. Don't if you don't. It's simple as that. It's not going to help you in either way. It's not going to hurt you or help you. And you can let me know what you guys think about The Mandalorian and Star Trek Short Treks by joining the conversation below. And thank you so much for liking, sharing, supporting my stupid show. It really does mean the world to me. I'll see you guys very soon. And as always, I hope all your times are egotastic fun times. Love you. Bye-bye.
Egotastic fun time, we're gonna have a great time. Egotastic fun time, give me all your money. Give him all your money. You will find it funny. Just give me money. I love money. Give me all your money. Give me all your money. Give me all your money.